be able to talk to these key people that are part of Farm Bill is, awesome.
Montana grain growers as a big presence here in DC.
It's just so critical to advocate for good policy for agriculture.
Just got here to the airport. I'm testing my theory of 45 minutes is okay. To get my luggage, my checked luggage on the plane. I sure hope so, because I need my clothes. Look what I had in my backpack. My carry-on. And I gotta do a better job, I guess, looking through my carry-on before trying to board a plane. Made it on the plane on time. Made it to Minneapolis, safe and sound. I got our president, Boyd, here with us. We're just waiting on our connection now to DC. We should be there soon.
Every year, the officers of the Montana Grain Growers Association fly out to Washington, D.C. to join other states at the National Association of Wheat Growers Winter Meeting, learn about current policy issues affecting wheat production in the U.S., and discuss current issues directly affecting Montana growers with Montana's senators and congressmen up on Capitol Hill. Although not everyone from Montana Grain Growers Association could make it to this year's meetings, Nathan, Boyd, and Steve are here, and they're ready to attend meetings throughout the first day.
Stuff comes up, but we're always a team and we're always connected throughout the days.
The first session with the National Wheat Growers Association consisted of a series of fireside chat-style presentations on various industry issues, particularly surrounding the state of foreign and domestic trade.
We had the Undersecretary of Foreign Trade, Alexis Taylor, I think was their name, and she talked about MAP and FMD funding, what it means to American farmers and especially wheat farmers, and market access to those foreign markets so we can export pretty much half of our crop that comes out of the U.S. goes overseas. And then we had a panel that included staffers from South Dakota and California, and they talked about how important these trade barriers are to be lifted so we can get our crops overseas.
It's just a slug of wheat out there, and we haven't been able to move it. So trade is important for us, and it's good to know that USDA, all these organizations are pushing to try to get better markets, open up the markets, and just extend the commitments that we have with our current partners in trade. So
we're going to head to lunch here at the Tap House, and after lunch we have ERC meeting that I'm on the board for, and then after that, domestic policy meeting with Nathan.
Yep. After a brief lunch break and a quick stop to find Boyd's preferred beverage, it's time to head down the hall to the Environmental Research Committee meeting, which Boyd currently serves as a member of. Per NAWG's media policy, we weren't able to capture any particular discussion of any committee or board meeting, so let's catch back up with Boyd and get a quick recap on what was discussed.
We just got done with our ERC meeting, covered about 2 hours of full agenda here. The first one, we got Farm Bill updates from two of the Senate offices, staffers from Stabenow and Bozeman, and they give an update on the Farm Bill and where we're headed with that. It was great to hear environmental research and what they're forecasting for what's coming out of the Farm Bill, hopefully this year. And then after that, we got an NRCS update from Julie Hawkins. She gave an update on Inflation Reduction Act and what it's capable of and how they're trying to staff that. And then after that, we got an FSA update talking about CRP and how that's kind of changing, going different area styles, different ways to go about it. And so NAWG is very looking forward to that. So anyway, we're gonna sit in on the domestic side. Nathan's going to give us an update on that in a couple hours.
I just got out of the Domestic and Trade Policy Committee meeting, and it was a couple hours long, and we had several meetings. We had some staffers one from Senator Stabenow's office, another one from the Chair Thompson's office as well, just talking about Farm Bill. That's just the main topic right now. We have the 1-year extension of the Farm Bill currently, which will end the end of this next September, but with an election year and everything going on, this is kind of a crazy year, so the push is to hopefully get a Farm Bill sometime this spring, before summer anyways. So a lot of talk with that, what's going to be in the Farm Bill, what possibly might not be in the Farm Bill. We had the administrator with FSA as well. So a little crop insurance talk as well, just talking about the PLC and ARC and how that could or could not, possibly not pay out.
With meetings wrapped up and a full day of visits on Capitol Hill scheduled for tomorrow, it's time for the team to compile all that they were briefed on and identify 3 to 4 key issues to share with Montana's 2 U.S. senators, as well as staffers of Montana's representatives over in the House.
My topic to bring to our 2 senators, 2 congressmen tomorrow is I'm going to be talking about the Snake River dams and how much that would affect agriculture if those dams were taken out. So I'm going to just kind of mention some key points in there and why it affects us, why it's important to keep those dams in place. And then I'm going to mention a little bit about reference prices when it comes to wheat and the cost of production of wheat and how a $5.50 reference price that we currently have in the extension of the 2018 Farm Bill, how that doesn't quite go with farmers these days on break even is quite a bit more than $5.50 now. So those are my 2 topics we'll bring up, and hopefully we'll have time to get those out. So
I'm going to be talking about MAP and FMD, and MAP and FMD haven't been allocated any more money since 2004, which in our training session yesterday, somebody pointed out that's when the iPhone got introduced, and we're on iPhone 12?
15.
No, 15.
Yeah.
We're on iPhone 15. So you can imagine that keeping things at that level, and actually it's been cut for quite a while. We're significantly underinvested in our export markets, and we learned a little bit later in the day today that last year we had a agricultural product deficit, a trade deficit in agricultural products for the first time since the 50s of $30.5 billion. So we imported more food than we exported for the first time in 70 years or so. So I think we think it's justified to start investing some in that export process.
All right, last but not least, Boyd.
Okay, since I'm the president,
And there goes our lights. Show's over.
to get MAP and FMD funding doubled for the first time in 20 years has a very good chance. MAP and FMD funding has a really good chance of getting doubled this year in the Farm Bill. And tomorrow we're going to go to the Hill and talk to our 4 congressmen, senators, and just go over. My part is going to be on crop insurance. That's the #1 priority for the Farm Bill, is to keep that funded at current levels and maybe tweak it and get a little more subsidy on the enterprise units. And then I'm going to thank the senators and congressmen for coming up with the ERP 21 and 22 and kind of discuss how farmers around the country were not pleased how ERP 22 got implemented, and it's not what the people on the Hill envisioned when they passed that. So just trying to bridge that gap of what they pass in their mind and how it gets implemented. It needs to get better, and FSA needs to be told about it. So that's what we're going to go over.
Later that evening, the team attended a campaign reception for NAWG's 2 national officer candidates, one of which is Nathan. After serving as an officer for the Montana Grain Growers Association for the past few years, Nathan has decided to see if he can continue his service on the national level by running for Secretary of the National Wheat Growers Association.
I don't know everything. I can find who the smartest person is, and I'm good at asking questions and figuring things out. So that's what I have, and I appreciate your votes, but enjoy the drinks and gain with Kane.
Just before heading out to the U.S. Capitol, both the majority and minority leaders of the U.S. Senate Agriculture Committee, Debbie Stabenow and John Bozeman, stopped by to discuss their priorities of advancing the new U.S. Farm Bill. These senators play a critical role in influencing ag policy, so being able to hear directly from them is a big deal. Once that meeting wrapped up, it was time for Nathan, Boyd, and Steve to head to Capitol Hill to meet with Senators Steve Daines and Jon Tester.
Thanks for your patience. How are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, of course.
Us farmers could get our payments, and crop insurance, you get it in the calendar year instead of 18 months down the road. And so they want to get rid of the option of having RP PLC with the enhanced crop insurance. So we're not sure how you feel about that.
How do you feel about it?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like having being in a position to choose.
So, as we think about the Farm Bill, my most important question, truly, is how do you feel about it?
Right.
Because, look, I mean, you're the ones who be filing the claims. I'm not.
Right.
And the people you represent. So
MAP and FMD are the market access program and foreign market development programs, and they were funded they're still funded at the 2004 level pre-sequestration, so it's even lower now. It's $200 million for MAP and $45 million for FMD, and all the farm groups are asking for a doubling of MAP and FMD. And we're getting the wind through all our meetings that it's kind of sounds like it actually might happen. And one of the things we learned is that apparently last year we had a agricultural trade deficit in the U.S. of about $30.5 billion, where we imported more food than we exported, which just kind of seems a little crazy to me.
Up next was a meeting with Senator Jon Tester. We weren't able to record any audio, so Nathan will share his thoughts about that meeting.
And we just got out of Senator Jon Tester's office, and some of the points that I went over was the Snake River dams and how critical it is to the PNW, but really how critical it is overall for the nation for transportation of grains, let alone, the power that it produces, the green power it produces, and things like that. We just wanted to drive that in there, that if those dams are taken out for the saving of the salmon, it could cause a domino effect for other locks and dams, throughout this country on saving, it might not be the salmon, it might be something else. And so that's one thing that this nation has, is the ability to transport our grains from inland to ports fairly cheap by using the river system. So wanted to drive that, and Senator Tester said, that's the first time we actually heard that, talking about transportation side and how important that it was. So I'm glad that we were able to drive that information to him and he can drive it from there. And so
I'll remind you, Nathan, you also gave the senator an award.
Thank you. Yes. So you're right. I appreciate that. So we brought an award to him. It is an advocacy award for agriculture from National Association of Wheat Growers. And the reason why we decided to nationally on NAWG side to give Senator Tester that award was him coming along on the food aid bill and being a co-sponsor for that bill for food aid. It was something that we've been pushing for a while, and John saw the importance of of that food aid bill, and he ended up being co-sponsor, which then allowed it to be a bipartisan thing on the Senate. So we wanted to give that advocacy award from him, from NAWG, and just his appreciation and being a champion in agriculture.
After meetings with both of the senators, the team was escorted through the network of tunnels underneath the Capitol to reach the offices of the U.S. House of Representatives. The House was not in session for the week, so both Ryan Zinke and Matt Rosendale were not available, but the team did meet with staffers from both offices to bring up the same issues, just as they did for both of the senators. To wrap up day 2, the National Wheat Foundation put on a special event called Wheat 101, a networking reception for staffers to interact with officers and other key industry representatives to learn more about the production and marketing of wheat in the United States. Where meeting directly with your own state's senators and congressmen can certainly leave an impact, being able to discuss priorities with staffers of Debbie Stabenow is a big win. It's receptions like this one, where Montana can really make their voice heard on a national level.
This is where we get things done. We have Wheat 101. We get to sit there and talk to Stabenow's staff, and talk about what we really are looking for in the new farm bill. So Stabenow this morning was talking about, maybe we just need to totally change up some of these farm programs like PLC and ARC, and somehow cover inputs and whatever, and we just mentioned, well, there's insurance out there. There's a marginal protection plan on just spring wheat right now, and it'd be great to have that on winter wheat, and it just gives us the option to be able to tell them what's actually could work for us well. It's margin protection is what, that's what we're working on, right? Margin's what keeps us alive as farmers. So be able to talk to these key people that are part of Farm Bill is, awesome. And so we are able to do that here in the Wheat 101, be able to do that. So.
And I'll make one last statement before we finish the night. Montana Grain Growers has a big presence here in DC, and that's
huge.
Why we were just talking to
that's right.
the staffers. Yeah,
we get to talk to the people that shape the new Farm Bill. So it's amazing.
It's Friday, our final day, about to start our official board meeting for the DC trip and the winter meeting. So Nathan's sitting here and he's out talking to everybody. So anyway, we'll give you an update in about an hour.
So we just got out of our board meeting. I'm not sure what time it is. It's got to be getting close to noon or so. Started at 8. It was a pretty packed board meeting that we had, and really good discussions in it.
I was just going to say to our growers how important it is for your checkoff dollars and your involvement with Montana Grain Growers Association to send us to DC to these meetings and find out how important that commission money is and your checkoff. Because we're fighting a battle all over the world, and it's coming here to the U.S. of what us farmers can do, fertilizer-wise, pesticide and herbicide-wise, and just fighting the battle and going to the Hill and getting policy-driven to protect us. And that's what, it was just dawned on me today how important it is to be here on the Hill and representing Montana grain growers.
Yeah. You look around the world, like you mentioned, in Germany and France and, all these protests that's going on. Farmers, bringing their tractors, and bringing it up the streets and stuff and protesting it against the things that they're facing, land being mandated that they can't farm and things, all these things, fertilizer taken away and the chemistries they're not able to use, and, they're getting quite upset and these things, it's coming our way. And so we need to be able to stop these things before we are under those threats. And so advocating for policy is so important, and then being part of a national association of wheat growers and what that means. Yesterday morning, we got to sit down right in front of the key people dealing with the Farm Bill, Senator Stabenow and Senator Bozeman, and with the Senate. And without being able to be part of a national organization like this, if we just came as the state of Montana, there's no way that we would be able to get the time in front of them to be able to talk to them about farm bill issues. And being a part of a national organization like this, we have the credibility, we have the numbers, and they see us as, okay, this is a legitimate organization that we really should hear from them. And so it's just amazing to be able to sit in front of these people and they listen to you and they take what they hear from us and help shape the farm bill. So,
Right. And my closing point is, in our meeting, came to the realization that NAWG cannot be stagnant. Grain growers across the country can't be stagnant because it's always, every day's got something different. And like Nathan said, having Senator Stabenow and Senator Bozeman there yesterday give us so much expertise on what to take to our congressmen and senators, and it proved the point of how valuable NAWG is to us.
yeah, absolutely.